A notification landed on my desk the other day. It was from a professional, aged 67, who had just stepped away from a 40-year career at the same firm. His words were short but incredibly heavy. He felt completely untethered, as if someone had suddenly turned off the gravity in his world and left him floating in a silent, empty vacuum. This is a story I hear often. Whether we choose to admit it or not, the end of a primary career is a certainty for almost everyone, and for many, it is among the most jarring shifts a human being can endure. Think about what that transition actually entails. Your entire adulthood has been built around your profession, your schedule, your social circle, and your feeling of utility. Everything was anchored to a job title. Then, quite suddenly, the anchor is cut. You open your eyes to a day of infinite hours and no internal compass. You find yourself standing in a quiet 9 a.m., wondering why the silence feels so aggressive. For a great number of people, this newfound autonomy feels less like a reward and more like a fall without a parachute. That is a real shock, not a theory, and it deserves to be said plainly. Today, I want to pass along principles gathered from decades of observing the world, managing capital, and watching how different people navigate the final acts of their professional and personal journeys. These are not academic ideas. They are lived observations regarding wealth, physical well-being, mission, and the elements that truly hold weight when the noise of the world fades. These insights are relevant whether you are out of the workforce, approaching the exit, or merely contemplating the horizon. Retirement isn't a closing curtain. If approached correctly, it can be the most vibrant, impactful era of your existence. Lesson 1. Your financial requirements are smaller than you assume. The first reality we must face is that most individuals significantly overcalculate the amount of money they need once they stop working. Financial stress is a powerful force. The dread of outliving your capital, of becoming a dependent, of losing your footing in your later years. These are valid fears. However, this panic frequently results in flawed math. When you are in the thick of your career, you are essentially paying a work tax every single day. Think about the sheer volume of capital leaked through the cracks, the thousands spent on fuel and maintenance for a daily commute, the expensive dry cleaning for a professional wardrobe you don't even like, and the convenience premium of ordering takeout because you are too mentally drained to even look at a stove. Moving into this new chapter strips these costs away by default. You finally have the luxury of time to simmer a slow sauce or slice fresh vegetables rather than paying a restaurant a 300% markup to do it for you. If you look at your ledger, you will likely see that your monthly burn drops by 30 or 40% without even trying to be frugal. Combine this with the payoff of a home loan, which should be a primary target before you quit, and your largest recurring bill vanishes. Suddenly, you are thriving on much less than you once thought was the absolute. I have seen people living deep, rich lives on a $500,000 nest egg because they prioritized experience over upkeep. Conversely, I know individuals with $5 million who are constantly stressed and miserable, clutching their tablets and shaking at every minor fluctuation in the S&P 500. What truly counts is the discipline to within your means and the mental peace that follows. Financial freedom isn't a specific sum in a bank. It is the knowledge that your spending is lower than your resources. Lesson 2. Treat your physical health as your primary investment. This second point is something I wish everyone took to heart with more urgency in their middle years. Vitality. In your 30s or 40s, the human frame is forgiving a neglect. You can survive on poor nutrition, sleep deficits, and a sedentary life. But time eventually rewrites the rules. If you have neglected your vessel, this new chapter of freedom becomes a full-time job of managing ailments rather than a time of exploration. I've watched people spend decades grinding and stacking up impressive wealth, only to find they are too broken to enjoy it. They have the money for a first-class ticket to Italy, but once they arrive, they can't walk the cobblestone streets of Rome because their knees are bone on bone. They have the beautiful vacation home by the lake, but they can't lift their grandchildren to see the sunset. If you are near the finish line or already past it, make your body your first priority. Schedule your screenings. Do not brush off small pains. Staying active doesn't mean becoming an athlete. Simply walk for 30 minutes every day under the open sky. That one basic ritual can tack years onto your timeline and radically boost your mood. Your diet doesn't have to be perfect, but make sensible trades. Eat things that grew in the sun and cut back on anything that comes in a crinkly, factory-sealed bag. Your system needs 7 to 8 hours of sleep every night to fix the day's damage. Health is the only currency that matters. Treat it with that level of respect. Lesson 3. Nourish your wonder and never stop being a student. Keep your curiosity alive. Never stop taking in new information. Many people hit a certain in life and just stop. They quit reading anything longer than a social media post. They settle into a life of mindless television and just for the clock to run out. This is a waste, because the brain needs a workout just as much as the heart does. Mental decline is often the result of disuse. When you stop pushing your intellect, it starts to fade. Don't just consume the news. Investigate a topic that has nothing to do with your past career. Study the complex patterns of jazz, the history of ancient architectural engineering, or the nuances of a foreign tongue. You want to keep those neural pathways firing like a live wire. I spend hours every day reading market reports, journals, and books on every topic under the sun. This habit keeps the mind sharp and the connection to the world tight. Do not close the book on your education. The second growing, you begin to wither. Stagnation moves fast, and it colors how you view the world. Stay inquisitive. It is the only way to remain youthful in the ways that count. Lesson 4. Put your capital into people, not possessions. Human connection is worth more than any asset class. For the bulk of a professional career, the focus is often laser-pointed at the office, scaling companies, dissecting balance sheets, making high-stakes moves. But that obsession comes with a bill. As the years pile up, you realize that corporate wins and net worth don't provide warmth at night. Humans do. If you are transitioning out of work, pour yourself into your relationships. Make your partner your primary focus. Listen to them with your whole heart. Spend time with your children and grandchildren. When you sit with a grandchild, don't look at your watch. Get down on the floor. Listen to their stories as if they were the most important briefings you've ever received. Objects cannot love you. They don't memories of you. Don't spend your time gathering more stuff. Spend it gathering shared stories. Invest in people. That is where the real dividends are found. Lesson 5. Make your life lean. Most people spend their prime years gathering larger homes and faster cars. All of this creates a heavy weight, physically, mentally, and financially. You have to maintain it, insure it, and stress over it. But does it actually move the needle on your joy? I have lived in the same residence for the better part of my adult life. It is cozy and has everything I require. I'd have to spend a second worrying about it. It is time to be honest with yourself and start trimming the fat. If you are living in a 5-bedroom house, but you only spend time in 3 of those rooms, you aren't owning a home. The home is owning you. It is a drain on your energy and your capital. Maybe a smaller home would make you happier, less to fix, easier to tidy, and more cash left over for experiences. Look at your gear with a critical eye. The attic full of crates you haven't touched years is just baggage. The less you possess, the more freedom you possess. Streamline your finances too. Having a dozen accounts at 5 different banks just creates a headache. Pull it all together. Make your world clean and easy to see. Lesson 6. The legacy of utility. This point is about the power of giving. Whether you are worth millions or just have a little extra time, find a way to be useful. Society often tries to tell you that once you stop working, you should just fade in the background and play golf. Ignore that. Your value didn't vanish with your paycheck. Find a way to give back. That might be spending your Tuesdays at a soup kitchen, coaching a teenager who needs a mentor, or helping a neighbor. Giving back, providing essential when a career ends. a sense of mission. When your title no longer defines who you are, you need a reason to matter. You need to feel like you are leaving a mark. Generosity is the ultimate antidote to the untethered feeling I mentioned earlier. It hooks you back into the human fabric. This isn't about feeling tea. It is about finding a deeper level of happiness through contribution. Use your time to leave the world a little better than you found it. Lesson 7. Do not let anxiety drive the bus. Fear is a ghost that haunts many people when they start earning a paycheck. Fear of the money running out. Fear of a market crash. These worries make sense, but letting fear dictate your choices is a recipe for disaster. Panic causes bad math. It makes people sell their investment, locking in failure. Be smart and be cautious, but do not let terror freeze you. Think of your financial plan like a ship. If you built a sturdy hull and you have a skilled hand on the wheel, you don't jump overboard just because the waves get a little high. If you have a balanced plan and a cash cushion for a rain to be just fine. Markets go up and down, but over the long haul they climb. Don't make a permanent mistake because of a temporary emotion. Stay the course. Fear is a liar that makes the danger look and makes you look small. A calm plan will always beat a dramatic reaction. Lesson 8. Discover a why. That isn't your job. For your whole adult life, your job gave you a reason to set the alarm. Then you quit, and suddenly that's gone. I have seen high-powered executives, people who used to command thousands, suddenly look lost in a hardware store because they don't know with a Tuesday afternoon. They deflate because they never built a personality outside of their business card. This is why you have to build a purpose that doesn't depend on a company. You need something else that matters. Maybe it's being mentored, taking a hobby seriously, or traveling to learn the history of the world. The what matters less than the why. You need a reason to get out of bed that makes your pulse quicken. Without a mission, of life is just waiting. What makes me feel useful? What makes me feel alive? Then go all in. Purpose is the oxygen of a good life. Lesson 9. Accept the fact that you can't take the money with you. You can't bring it with you. You can build a mountain of wealth, but when you are gone, every dollar of that mountain stays right here. Too many people spend their whole lives guarding and obsessing over their net worth, only to pass away without ever enjoying it or using it to change a life. Be careful with your money, but also use it. Have some fun. Take the trip you kept putting off while you still have the legs to enjoy it. Spend on the things that create memories. Money is a hammer, not the house. The goal of life well lived. When your time is finally up, no one is going to read your bank balance at the funeral. They are going to talk about your character and the way you made them feel. What matters is how you spent your time and what you did with the gifts you were given. Lesson 10. Settle the score with your past and live in the now. The final lesson is to find peace with yesterday and focus on today. Many people spend a huge amount of energy looking in the rearview mirror, replaying old mistakes. They carry around heavy stones of resentment or what-ifs from 30 years ago. But you can't rewrite history. What you can control is right now, the moves you make today. Forgive yourself. You were doing the best you could with what you knew at the time. Forgive the people who crossed you, not for them, but for your own peace of mind. Don't let a grudge from a past day steal it of your present. If you owe an apology, give it. But do not spend your days living in the what-ifs. Focus on the present. What can you do today to be a little better? To be a little more grateful? Those moments are what make a life. Settle your debts with the past and put your energy into making the rest of your life as rich as it can be. Conclusion. The math of life. I've laid out what I think are the most vital truths. These aren't just thoughts. They are the reality of what works and what holds up. Remember that this stage of life isn't a math problem, it's a life problem. Once you have enough to be safe, more money doesn't make you more happy. What you actually need is a why, a connection, a healthy body, a simple life, and a curious mind. You need to be free of fear and regret. These are things you can't buy at a bank. Start today. Take care of yourself and the people you love. Stay hungry for knowledge. Find your mission. Drop the fear. Before we go, I want to hear from you. Which of these 10 lessons you find the hardest to embrace right now? Is it letting go of the financial fear, or perhaps finding a purpose outside of your work? Let me know in the comments. I read as many as I can, and your perspective helps others who are navigating this same path. Thank you for your time and hearing out these thoughts. I really hope this hits home and makes your next chapter just a little bit brighter. These years are gold. Don't spend them on things that don't matter. You have earned this. Now go live it, really live it, love with everything you've got, stay in the game. That is my wish for you, a life where at the finish line, you can say, I did it right, I have well. It is possible, and it is right there in front of you. Be well.